Two blondes walked into a bar. Hey everybody, welcome to, oh my gosh, episode 5 of Two Blondes Walked Into a Bar. How are you, girl?
I'm good. I am like ready for the holiday for sure. If
You are so ready for the
I
holiday.
am like in my witch's gear. And you can't actually even see, I'm wearing like a big silver skirt too. Hold on. Let me just.
Oh my gosh, I think I can hear the skirt. Yes, queen.
Yeah, you can hear it crinkling.
So if you guys are listening to us on Spotify or on Libsyn, then you can't see Annie. But if you want to see her, I highly recommend that you head on over to YouTube and check out this video because it is worth it. It is worth it. But you're the cutest witch I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you.
There's that.
Thank you.
I don't know what I'm going to be for Halloween. I haven't even thought that far. I don't even know.
Well, you just moved. So what, like, let's talk about that for a moment because.
What
happened?
I never want to move again in my life. Like, I think I'll just stay here forever. I'm just going to stay here in Sherman Oaks, California, and that's going to be that. And that's where I shall die.
You know, back in the day, people used to do that. Like in New York City and stuff, people do that. You know, they like move in they never move out. Like they're 80 years old, still hobbling up those like, you know, fourth floor walk up. There we go. I got it out. It came out.
I understand why, because the whole moving process, I mean, many of the Who's were so supportive as I had my vent session the other night, as I popped into VIP and did a random live as I was like waiting for this thing to get delivered. But eventually Garrett and I want like a yard and we want all that. But you know, we're in between right now. We can't do that. We don't really know where we want to set up shop, which is why we decided to rent. But we did need more space. And that we have, which is nice. But I just made yesterday an epic day. I decided it was a good day to move my cat and also get movers to move all the furniture. So I just really hit the ground running. And not to mention, it was a work day. So it was like, okay, I really need to like juggle work and juggle, you know, so it was a lot. It was just a lot of money that I wasn't planning on spending yesterday that I spent. And I felt like the reason why we got movers to begin with was mainly because of my couch. And my couch isn't anything crazy. Like, I don't know if you've seen parts of my couch. I don't know if you've ever seen
it's like
my
a
full couch,
sectional, right?
Yeah, it's a living spaces, very nothing crazy, just you know, it had the normal part and the sectional part comes apart. You know, it doesn't need to come into the building in an L shape. Like it's, right. You know, you take it. But the long part apparently is too long. And they got it out of the old apartment into the truck. They brought it here and it would not fit.
And they tried taking like the legs off and all of that stuff. Like
the couch like wouldn't come apart. We took apart everything that would come apart, and it was still like the main part of the couch. Like pillows and stuff were off of it.
Extra small doors or something?
So here's what I think the problem is. So it's not a direct shoot into the apartment. There's if I walk out of my apartment door right now, my neighbor's apartment's right there. You have to turn. There's a little tiny hallway, right. And then it opens up. So I think it was the curvature. I think it was them getting it into the hallway was fine, but then they couldn't turn it into the door frame.
And did you try like knocking on your neighbor's door and be like, hey, nice to meet you. I'll bake you some cookies. Can you just open your door so I can like kind of weed my couch into your apartment to get into mine?
So he ended up opening the door and asking like, what was going on. Yeah, he was super nice. And he basically was like, yeah, I have a love seat because I couldn't fit a couch in here. So even if we were to go into his apartment, it was the same problem. It was like there was no turning that could happen because they either needed to turn left into his apartment or right into ours.
What architect designed this building?
Exactly. I was so pissed because when you're moving into a new apartment, you don't think of like things like that. You're like, okay, I have a couch.
It's a couch.
It will fit because it's a couch.
Like old couch.
Everyone has a couch. And this couch was not that old. I just got it a couple years ago. And, you know, it was an investment from one of the jobs I had. It was like the first thing I wanted to buy. And because I'd been living on a futon for like 5 years, and I thought, okay, I'm turning 30. I deserve a real couch. Like, I'm a grown ass adult. Like, I deserve this. And yeah, now it's on the street. And
So now did someone pick it up?
I don't know. We haven't been
It's a
downstairs
little
yet.
heartbreaking to
Probably.
think about it, yeah. So
I
you
know.
spent on the movers, you spent on the deposit, you spent on the vet to come take care of your cat, you spent on, like just the general day of like all the crap that has to happen, the boxes and all that crap, right? And now you spend on a new couch.
A couch.
Or you were going to, but you're going to have like purchase nerves because you're going to be like, oh, I don't know if this will fit. I don't know if I want to buy it. I don't know if this is a couch I should buy. Oh my God. Now I'm super nervous. You're going to have anxiety in the furniture store.
It's so true. We're going to have to measure outside. We're going to have to make sure it's a couch that easily can come apart into sections, and then Garrett, and bless his heart, and men, they're just like so frugal sometimes, and it's because they're just like, I don't want to spend money, blah blah blah, and I'm like, he's like, let's just get a futon. I'm like, no,
I just got rid of the futon.
I was like, no. I mean, we technically have a futon in here. Here, I'll turn it. This is my blush pink futon.
It's very pretty.
That is part of my office, but that's fine. It's not really going to be used for that. It's like a set piece. It's like if I feel like sitting there, it's not meant to do the living.
Right.
It's not meant to watch Grey's Anatomy and The Bachelorette and all that good stuff. Like, I want to indulge. And I like to, I don't know how you are, Annie, but I'm a leg spread outer on the couch. Like, I actually sit sideways on the couch.
No, I'm a curler.
Oh, you curl.
Yeah.
Okay. The curl is good as well. I like to curl, but I also like to stretch. So I need to be able to do that. And then Garrett be able to sit comfortably, so there needs to be a lot of room.
Because you're stretched, so he can just curl
exactly
up in the corner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like a dirty piece of clothing, like wadded up and stuffed in the corner. Is that like that's
just
Garrett's spot? Yeah,
that's his spot.
Yeah.
I have the majority. And so yes, now that's the thing. So there's nothing to sit on, but internet came this morning, which was great. So we could finally record this.
Like moving is the absolute worst. And I've said this before. I've thought about selling my house and moving, and just the idea of the actual moving process. Like, I like house hunting and I wouldn't mind like selling my house, but it's the actual like packing up and then moving and then unpacking. I'm like,
no,
I just don't want to do that. I'm just lazy. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's not like it's hard and I can't do it. I just don't want to. So I'm kind of like you are, where I'm just never going to move because I just really don't want to ever go through that process again.
Oh, it is. And then this new building, this place doesn't have an elevator. Our other place did, but this place is smaller. It's not as big of an apartment complex. So there's only, I don't know, maybe like 15 units in this one. So yeah, that was interesting. And then and the movers that came, I mean, bless their souls, but they were just such a cute couple. And it was like this beefy man. He looked like Jason Momoa, but the blonde version, like a beefy man with really short shorts. And I was like,
did you get some pictures of that?
He told me he was an actor, and I found his IMDb. So we could definitely look it up.
I mean, I think you usually Google when we're on here.
Is that bad that I'm putting him on blast? Well, if anything, I'm promoting his business. So in addition to being an actor, and Annie, I can now share the screen.
I know, because one of our Who's taught us how to do that.
Yes.
We didn't even try it, but one of our Who's tried to teach us.
I don't think he's single, because the woman that he came with that was helping him, I believe is his wife, but I didn't ask details. Okay, wait, I got to figure out how to share this screen. Hang on. Okay. Share screen.
Nothing happened.
Chrome tab. Oh, here we go. Share. Do you see it?
No, nothing's happening. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, it's just on the side.
He does kind of look like Jason Momoa.
I know. This is the man that showed up to move my apartment.
I'm getting a little warm over here. Why did you not get pictures of him in his shorty shorts, all sweaty and burly and like carrying your couch and stuff?
Annie, I should have just for you, but I was
I
so in the process of moving, I didn't even think about it.
I am so disappointed in you right now. Like, I have never been so disappointed in you as I am in this
Wait,
moment right now. Like, I'm sweating just like looking at the little itty bitty picture of
let
him.
me pull up a bigger picture. Do you see that
And
picture?
I gotta be
I
honest,
know.
I don't actually have a
I
big
wish I
crush
could
on
make it
Jason
bigger.
Momoa. Like, lots of people do. I do not have a big crush on him. This
Oh,
guy,
I'm blowing it up. Look at his eyes. Look at that. Guys, you need to be watching the YouTube version of this so you can see what we're looking at. But Annie and I, he's got long blonde hair, very piercing blue eyes.
I just drooled a little bit.
Yes, he was a very handsome fellow, but he could not get. Well, it's not his fault. The couch was too big. They were great. They were really great. And and he's an actor. And then they also move furniture.
It's LA. Of course, he's an actor.
Right. Who isn't?
Who isn't?
I totally hear you.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were so great and so nice. And they felt really bad that they had to leave it on the street, but it's okay. Maybe it was just time to part ways with the couch. Do you want me to leave the photo up for a little bit, or do you want me to just
I'm
take it
getting a
down?
little distracted with it up, so I'm not going to really be
Okay.
very entertaining.
Wait, I just want to see if I can find, I just want to bless you with one more photo.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been in The Good Place, and he has some really great acting cred. I kind of want to find a smiling one. I feel like there was a smiling one of him. Oh, this is a good one. I think you're going to like this one.
I'm ready.
See, look at his little smile. Do you see him?
I do see him.
With his beanie. Yeah.
He
was very nice.
And by the way, can we just mention that his locks look better than mine do? So that kind of sucks. So you can take him away now. Take him away. Take him away.
He had
Make him go
great
away.
hair.
Yeah, you know what?
Great
I hate it when men have
hair.
better hair and better eyelashes than women because they are just wasted. Wasted. On a man.
Preach to the choir. Garrett has the longest, most luscious eyelashes, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, get out. I have to use serum
stuff on there. I'm taking my collagen every day. I'm just talking to them like a plant, hoping that they'll just grow. No.
Yeah.
When we were in North Carolina, I got the, super, falsies eyelash stuff. And you're like, yeah, it's not really poking me in the eye. So I don't really know what you did there because I had a waste of money. So yeah, I don't.
I wish my lashes, and this is mascara on right now.
I know.
And they're still not touching the screen.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I feel you, sister. I feel you. All right. So I'm going to change gears a little bit to something that's been weighing heavy on me. So this is not necessarily for our Piper Lou dudes. This is maybe more for our Piper Lou who's, but the dudes could maybe just sit back and enjoy it as well. But I really actually wanted to have a conversation because you had an experience in the last week and I had an experience in the last week where women were not as empowering as they should be for each other. And realistically, women should have an army of powerful girls behind them to help them be successful. But really, any woman that you look at or you interact with should be the drunk women at midnight in a bar bathroom. That's the mentality we should have all day, every day for every single woman that we encounter. And it should never come down to backstabbing or deliberately judgy, hurtful interactions. So not just to give you a brief update, we ended up getting some messages. You ended up getting some messages last week and they were not so nice. And people were being deliberately judgy of the things that you have shared in the past. And quite frankly, you and I are super open books. We share ridiculous amounts of information with people, but we do it with the intent of 1, connecting, 2, entertaining, and 3, it's just ultimately who we are. We're not going to try and hide and pretend that we're something we're not, because what's the point? My hat's falling off here, by the way. Okay. So what's the point? We're not going to be here. We're not actresses. We're not fake. We're just who we are. And that's all we intend and try to be. And at the end of the day, if you have a problem with it, then you can kind of just step your ass out the door, is my opinion about it.
Yeah. On my end, I was surprised because when you join Piper Lou, if you don't know what you're walking into, I believe shortly after you know exactly what you walked into. And it's just a beautiful group of hilarious women who, yes, sometimes we have dirty minds, but it's all for just a good laugh, and just we're silly, and we admit sometimes that we can be messy, but it's a beautiful mess. And so when I feel like we can do this podcast and that I can open up, it hurts when people judge you for the things you say, because no one's perfect. And especially
nor do we
me.
even try to pretend to be perfect. Like we don't even put on a veil of like making the attempt. We are just at the end of the day who we are, and that's it.
And I was very transparent with Annie after last week's podcast that it's funny that you mentioned that we don't try to be perfect, because I think for so long, especially in my 20s, I did try. I told you that I did the Miss America organization, and even though it taught me a lot about myself, I felt like it hid a huge part of who I was, which was just this like unfiltered, sassy queen on one end, and the other end was just like, I have to be PC and I can't really have an opinion because I have to make everyone happy. So, it was hard for me to find that balance. And I still think I'm finding that balance, but I really think that I've started to find it in Piper Lou, where I'm totally accepted for being the raw, just whatever flows off my tongue. And you're a huge part of that too, because I admire who you are and what you say and what you do. And I'm like, okay, if Annie can do it, then I can certainly be who I am and not be afraid of it. So then when it is hard, when you're always going to get some people that have something to say, but I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that, but it just hurt a little bit.
A community where we are generally supportive. I mean, there are groups out there that are super snarky to each other and deliberately mean and hurtful. And we may be snarky in Piper Lou, but we are never deliberately hurtful to anyone. And it's very rare that we have those moments that crop up in the group. I mean, we are a group of 128,000 people or whatever. So, I mean, we are a pretty substantial size, but it's a really interesting dynamic that goes on there, because we have cultivated this whole environment and community that, and I'm not saying like you and I, but like collectively, the whole group, we have cultivated this community that has supported each other and encouraged each other and built each other up. So I've had my messages from haters as well. And, people who say that they were uncomfortable and are leaving the group because I said the F word or, whatever. I've had plenty of messages, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? We're clearly not the group for you. Like, I'm not going to censor the way I am and who I am to make one person comfortable. If you're not comfortable, that's on you. And I appreciate that and I can honor that, but you need to not be here, because that's not what this group is particularly about.
Totally.
No, I do get that it is hurtful when someone chooses to kind of come at you and judge, because they don't know the decisions and the life that we've led that got us to the place that we're at. And I think I was very similar to you when I was younger, in my younger days, that I was much more of a people pleaser than I am today. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't like rock the boat or offend anybody or say things that were inappropriate. And now you get to a certain point in your life and you're like, I lost Cody and I had cancer. And I'm just like, you know what? Life is too fucking short to sit and worry about what somebody else's opinion is. And if they don't like me, there are a lot of other people who do. And that's where I need to land my focus. But it's been weighing on me personally that both you and I have had moments in the past week where someone felt compelled to try and tear us down to build themselves up. I don't even know if that's the reason why, or just to judge, or just whatever it was. So I just wanted to take a brief moment and address that, because it's not how us girls should be.
No, it's not. But I will say, and you just mentioned it, that on the flip side, with the minimal amount of hurtful messages we get, we do have so many amazing messages that we get. Annie, I have to share with you. And I kind of feel bad about this, because I don't want anyone to think I'm like struggling to put food on the table. I did at one point in my life, but now I'm okay. Like Piper Lou, it's not bad. They're like feeding me. But last night, because I had spent so much money on moving, all I wanted to do was like order food. Like I just wanted to order food. But like when you're just like, oh my God, like I've maxed out today. Like I like cannot.
Is just too much.
Even the $20 is just too much. And especially when I knew I had food from a boxed company that I knew was on its way. So I was like, okay, I cannot. And I had said something in the live, and I had so many who's messaged me. They're like, Meghan, one person was like, Meghan, do you have a Chipotle by you? I have a gift card that you can use. I was like, oh my God, you are so sweet.
That is the community that we've built. That is the community of how we should act. And I know that usually on here we try and be funny or whatever, but this is, but we're also, like I just said, we're very real and we're going to share our lives with you. And so that's what's been going on. But no, that is absolutely fantastic. So forget the bad.
I was
Let's focus on the good.
Oh my gosh. It was so sweet. I was like, no, girl, you keep your Chipotle gift card, but thank you. I fucking love Chipotle, and I will take a burrito bowl any day.
Yeah, me too.
Amazing. Yeah. So anyways, yes, I'm really glad we talked about that though, because it's true. It's something that we need to get off our chest and but now it is.
Moving forward, only send us messages if we're going to be happy about them. Don't send us messages if you're like typing it and you're like, I'm going to send this to her and let her know what I think. Pause, take a moment, reread it and say, will this make Annie or Meghan smile? If the answer is no, just go ahead and delete, and just don't send it. Because we don't want
Agreed.
And we might make fun of you in the future. I might call you out. Like, when I said that I got like some dick pics from the shirtless selfie competition.
Yes.
And I said, if you do it again, I'm going to put you on blast. I'm going to post them. Well, you know what? Maybe if you send us mean messages, we're going to post those too. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Wait, we could do, how like celebrities do the mean tweets? They read mean tweets.
You send us mean messages, we might put you on blast and do that on you.
We're going to read your comment on the podcast. And
so only send us really
and laugh about it. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Does that make us the mean girls then? Does that make us the exact thing I just said we should not be?
No, because if people send us nice messages, we're not going to like, if people are mean first, you have every right to be mean back.
Right.
Or at least stand up for yourself.
Right. Stand up for yourself.
Yeah, it's standing up for ourselves. We're not being mean girls.
We're not being mean girls, no. Because we'll just.
But you can't sit with us. You can't always sit with us.
Yeah. And on Wednesday, don't wear pink because we will be.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I could quote Mean Girls all day. Literally, one of my favorite movies. What is your favorite movie, Annie? I don't even think I know this.
Oh,
do you have one?
You know what? I am like the embarrassing typical girl.
No, that's okay. Like a good rom-com?
Yeah, The Notebook.
Oh, The Notebook. Yes. I mean, a winner. I have read about every Nicholas Sparks book that you can imagine.
I have not read any of the books, but I have.
The books are good.
I mean, the Notebook. I mean, how can you not? If you don't cry in it, one night I had introduced Morgan to The Notebook, and we were sitting on the couch. It's dark. We have the TV going. We're watching the movie. We're both giant crocodile tears falling down our faces toward the end of the movie, and we're just like, white, making the noises and the snots like dripping and everything. And my son walks in, and he goes, "What are you guys doing?" And my daughter goes, "It's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful." And my son, all he can do is like, realize that he's been raised by women and roll his eyes as far back into his head as they will go and just turn and walk away. Like there are no words. There are no words that he could possibly come up with two women sitting on the couch sobbing over The Notebook.
That is too funny. That is too funny. I'm one extreme to the next. I'm like, Miss Congeniality is probably one of my faves, but then it's like on the other end, I love The Departed. Have you ever seen The Departed?
I've not seen The Departed.
It's good, but it's about Boston, which is why. But it's and Leonardo DiCaprio's in it, so like, hello.
I mean, I also flip the other way as well. So my other is The Sweetest Thing with Christina Applegate.
Oh, I love The Sweetest Thing, and
Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz, yes.
And who's that dark-haired girl in there?
I know her name.
I'm seeing.
She's actually going through a rough. I think she has MS.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's been sick. She's been sick for the past couple of years, and it's. But she's a fighter. Her story's really inspirational. What is her name?
I know, I can picture her face. And I cannot.
Google.
Okay, you go on to it. I'll
Google.
talk about it. So, yeah, if you have not watched that movie, that is like hilarious. And like, I don't know if you know this scene, but when they're in like the golf thing. Selma Blair. Thank you.
That's it.
And there's, they're on the golf thing and, there's grandpa wearing the shirt that says who farted and it's all ripped up. And then, he's like talking about the love of his life and he poked her in the whiskers and they're like, oh, you must miss grandma. And he's like, fucking grandma.
So funny. And this part, I always do this part that Cameron Diaz does. She goes, 20s, 30s, I'm not wearing a bra right now. 20s, 30s. And if you guys are listening to the
movie montage, always time for a movie montage.
That movie will always put you in a good mood. That is so good. That is such a great. Should we do one fishbowl? Or is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, that was all I had. But I mean, I can do a fishbowl. It is right.
Let's do one fishbowl.
Okay, one fishbowl. Let's see what I've got. Is it going to be inspirational or is it going to be funny? Let's find out.
I feel like this podcast had like an inspirational tone.
It did
today.
Oh well, we've left inspirational. Have you ever walked in on your parents doing it?
Oh dear, that just made me nauseous. No. No, but I will tell you something sad. Like, not sad, but like when I was a kid, I have a half sister, but I was mainly like the only child. That probably explains a lot about me. I was like kind of an only child growing in the house. And whenever my parents would like kiss or something, I'd always run up to them as like a young kid and be like, me too, me too. Like I was such a jealous child. Like, ew, the thought of it makes me be like, Meghan, like get your shit together. I know you're only 4, but like, ew. And so I was always like super jealous of if they were being affectionate, like without me.
Right.
And then now looking back on it, all you hope for as an adult is that your parents still have that love and affection and that they don't lose it. So it's just so funny how like, if your kids thought about you and the hammer, I'm sure they'd be like, ew, but then when they get older and they realize how important affection is, they're probably like, I hope they still have that. It's just funny how your perspective changes.
So you took like a dirtier, naughtier question and you like sprinkled like some unicorn rainbow on it and you put the silver lining on it and you still turned it into an inspirational moment. I
think that's just my mood today. I think that's just where I'm at. But no, but I've never, if I actually had witnessed that, I'd be like, probably not here to tell the story. I'd be so grossed out.
I remember walking into my parents when I was little.
Oh my God.
I must have been given the house that we were in. I must have been like 11 or 12. So I wasn't even that little.
That's like an age that what's going on.
Yeah. It's not like you can say, oh, mommy and daddy were wrestling. No, there was no fucking wrestling going on there. There was like some humping and some pumping. And like, I remember it.
Now, did they know that you saw? Was there a talk that they sat you down and had?
No, they never even had the talk with me just generally in life. Like they never, like we did not discuss like that kind of stuff. Like I feel like
you had to learn about it from friends.
Well, yes, a little YM magazine, a little 17 magazine back in the day. I don't know if you even remember those because you're so young. Those, but also my mom sat me down in front of an episode of Oprah that was like talking about sex and she like left the room. She like played it and then like left the room like on our VCR, she like recorded it on the VCR and then like played it and left the room. And then like when it was over, 59 minutes later, she came back in and she goes, do you have any questions? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good, Mom. So that was my talk. So, and after this, I kind of feel like there was no way they could have not known that I walked in there.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I would have like crept in. It's like I walked in, I'm like, hey, oh. And then like that, but there was no discussion. Like there was no conversation.
Interesting.
Maybe we like avoided eye contact for like 3 or 4 days just to like let the dust settle. And then we proceeded on with our lives and like pretended like the moment never happened. But I can close my eyes right now and I can still visualize what that looked like.
How scarring.
Yeah, it really was.
I can give you the number to my therapist if you need it.
I mean, you can go ahead and send that along with a picture of your mover. That would be great.
Okay. Okay, done and done. Yes, of course, of course. Oh my God, so funny. You guys, you have to check out the YouTube version if you're not watching it because you have to see it. You have to see him.
Yeah,
Oh
he's
my
a
God,
cutie.
so funny. Also, can we talk about this? I need some serious help here.
Yeah, I mean, like
Send help.
Like the day after you did it, you need serious help there.
I know. Sorry if you guys are listening. I'm holding up my nails. My nails are just terrifying. There's one, whatever. Anyways, I digress. But girl, this was great. I felt really disconnected for the past couple days just because I didn't have internet. I couldn't focus. But now I feel like I'm going to build my desk today because my desk is here. There's a lot of building that needs to happen today. Just IKEA piecing things together.
Now you're in and now you get to put it all together and like make it pretty and everything. So this is the fun part. So you go and you build and, be a little Bob the Builder. We can. And,
Thank you.
And you put your home back together again.
I will. And thanks, girl. Okay, well, tune in. We usually release these Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. So make sure you subscribe, listen, like, and let us know what you want us to talk about next week's episode. And we'll see you later.
Absolutely.
Bye, guys.